two favorite seasons were winter and summer. Winter because of winter activities and making snowmen and skiing. And summer I loved because it was the longest summer holidays. And now, when I grew up, my two favorite seasons are spring and fall. Spring because the nature awakens and you can see all this beautiful greenery. And fall, I love fall because of the light in landscape and beautiful colors. And the topic for today's study is beautiful golden aspens and the effects of light. So I found a photograph that I liked and I interpreted it to fit a small painting. So I started with the darkest places on the stones, and then I moved on to lighter areas of those stones, but I didn't make it too light, not to distract from the main topic, which is aspens and the golden light on those leaves. And talking about light effects, I learned that in certain conditions, leaves can be lighter than the sky. I thought that it was only snow that was lighter than the sky, or some highly reflective surfaces that reflect a lot of sun rays. But in landscapes, in fall and in spring, it's the yellow leaves and the new fresh foliage that is directly hit by the sun. Compared to sky, it's lighter. So if you take a photograph of a branch in spring or an aspen in fall and turn it to grayscale, you will easily see that it's lighter than the blue of the sky. And speaking about colors, so for stones I used raw umber, which is greenish brown mixed with blue and maybe something else, I don't remember, but it's just basically nondescript dark shade. And the lighter part of the stones I mixed a little bit of yellow ochre and gray to the same dark mixture of colors. And for the aspens, I started with the lightest shade of the tree trunks. I used azo yellow green mixed with yellow ochre and the raw umber. And then, so it was pretty light to start. And then I used a little bit more yellow ochre and umber to make the core color of the trunk. And this is how this effect of backlit tree trunks is actually achieved. You can do it your own way, but this is how I did it, and I liked it, and I will definitely do it again, maybe using different colors for different lighting effects. And I don't know if you knew that aspens actually have eyes. These are the darker places on the tree trunks that branches actually used to grow from, and then they broke off, or I don't know, somehow they are gone, but the black eyes are still there. Of course, I don't use black for that. I use the same mixture that I used for the darker part of the tree trunks. That is yellow ochre, azo yellow green, plus raw umber. And for the fir trees or spruces or whatever those are, I used raw umber plus a teeny bit of green and teeny bit of blue, and in the end it was just a nondescript darker color. And now I am doing all this shady underline for future sunlit aspen leaves. It's quite a thin layer, and the intensive brown from the underpainting is actually seen through this very thin layer. So in the original photograph that inspired me to do this painting, there was a lot of yellow and it was almost flat. And I decided to do less of yellow and do it in different shades to make an impression of leaves that are turning in the wind. And once this underlayer of shadow is ready, I move on to sky. The sky is mostly gray, and I mix a little bit of titanium white and a little bit of French ultramarine. And it's a bluish gray color that actually looks a lot more blue because of the yellow around it. And for this I'm using a synthetic bright number 10 and carefully patch it between the yellow, and actually where it mixes up it doesn't hurt because gray and titanium white are much stronger mixtures than the dull yellow of those shadowy leaves. And sky is also transparent, so you can see this orangey brown through the layer, and it's an interesting effect. I think I will make a lot more paintings on warm underpainting in future. I never did it before. I mostly did it on a cooler bluish gray underpainting, and this one changed my mind. So I am using 3 cadmiums, yellow pale, yellow medium and yellow deep, mixing them together in between themselves to achieve different shades, and also mixing lemon yellow, and this way I have a great variety of yellows which I can see in nature every time I get a chance to watch the golden aspens. And the next day, when the paint dried a little bit, I started making branches. The easiest way is to use a sort of solvent. I use Winsor & Newton blending and glazing medium, and I mixed it with darker paint to make distant shadows. It was relatively light shade of dark of the branches and the trees. And then those branches that are closer, the darkest branches, I used more raw umber and more ultramarine. And these thicker brushes and young trees are made with a liner brush. It's actually quite useful to make thicker and thinner marks. And the general principle of mark making is to follow the growth of the tree, start where it is thickest and then go to the thinnest parts. And now I'm using my favorite synthetic number 10 bright brush, and I use the thinnest part to basically stamp those thin nice branches. It's a very controlled way to leave this homogeneous marks, and I actually like it. I think I will use the same method for making the smallest branches again. The work is slowly approaching finish. I really liked painting this backlight effect of backlighting. I hope you liked it too. If you have any questions about how I make something in this painting or in the other ones, I will be very happy to answer in the comment section. So this is part 4, and it's the last part in this mini-series about the effects of light. I'm planning to make similar series with water and clouds. If you have some ideas or suggestions, write about that in the comment section. I hope you like how this painting turned out. I like it a lot. And see you in another video. Meanwhile, thanks for watching, stay inspired, and God bless.